To wrap up the end of the week, thank Hank. All right, inbound from Rancho Bernardo, Rancho Penasquitos, headed towards that 163 connector. And this is what it looks like on the 8 in both directions as you make your way inbound from Lake Murray. Things are starting to pick up this morning, but still looking at light drives and a gorgeous start to the day. I mean, nothing but looks like somewhat overcast skies, but still really nice out there. E Street, this is on the 5 in both directions as you make your way north and south, headed towards National City. I'm not tracking any major crashes nor delays. Always happy to report that. Your Friday travel times look very nice this morning, about 10 to 15 minutes or so on the 5, the 15, as well as the 78. We're at steady speeds. If you're coming in from the East County headed westbound, we're looking at anywhere between a 3 to 7 minute ride on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And no major issues nor delays coming out of the South Bay. And just a heads up, if you plan on heading towards Balboa Park this weekend, maybe you're going to the zoo, the Hillcrest area, Caltrans wants you to know that all lanes of the 163 South between the 8 and the 5 will be closed for part of the day on Saturday. And we already know that this is going to bottleneck things likely on the 8 and both the 5 freeway. The closure starts at 3 a.m. and is scheduled to go all the way through 1 p.m. Workers will be out picking up litter, removing overgrown bush, and repairing damaged pavement. Drivers can get around the closure by heading west on the 8 to the 5 south, or the eastbound drive to the 8 to the 805 south. So again, that's your big reminder for the weekend. Back to you guys. Rancho Bernardo, Rancho Penasquitos headed towards the 163 connector. And then here's what we're seeing on the 8 in both directions right at Lake Murray. This is that drive as you make your way to and from the Grossmont College area, headed westbound towards Mission Bay this morning. And then here's the 5 in both directions right at E Street, where we are seeing smooth rides coming in from the South Bay headed up to National City. Now, things are likely going to look like this all morning. Again, not a lot of people head out the door as quick on Fridays, especially in the morning hours. They're likely working from home. About 10 to 15 minutes right now if you're headed inbound from the North County. On the 5, the 15, full span of the 78, we're averaging speeds of about 70 miles per hour in 15 minutes, full span from Escondido as you make your way towards Oceanside this morning. If you're traveling in from the East County headed west, all drives are under 10 minutes. So that includes that drive out of Lemon Grove, the College neighborhood, as well as Santee headed westbound towards Tierra Santa. 7-minute drive with average speeds of about 68 miles per hour. So far, so good out of the South Bay, 10 to 15 on the 5 and the 805 as you exit Chula Vista National City headed northbound, either towards downtown or Mission Valley, under 5 minutes at last check as you make your way from downtown towards the city of Coronado. Average speeds about 46 miles per hour and overall drive time under 5 minutes. All right, we have a traffic alert. If you're heading toward Balboa Park this weekend, maybe you're going to the zoo, the Hillcrest neighborhood, Caltrans wants to alert you that all lanes of the 163 South between the 8 and the 5 will be closed for part of the day tomorrow. Now, this is obviously going to have a huge impact. Maybe if you take the 8 even west, you'll notice the backup. The closure starts at 3 a.m., so overnight, and is scheduled to go all the way through 1 p.m. tomorrow. Workers will be picking up litter, removing overgrown bush just in time for summer, and repairing damaged pavement. Drivers can get around all of this by heading west on the 8, then jumping on the 5 south, or you can head east on the 8 and take the 805 south to get around the 163. And of course, there are tons of surface streets like Friars Road that you could also opt for, but just make sure that you're keeping that in mind if you're traveling through any of those pockets this weekend. Eric? Through tomorrow afternoon due to some cleanup and also just some beautification of the landscaping across those freeways. This is the 163. Meanwhile, things are rolling really smooth as you make your way either south or northbound coming in from the Balboa Park area headed towards Mission Valley this morning. Let's go ahead and switch gears. This is a 5. Again, I selfishly love to show buildings of downtown as clear, but what you can't see clear is the nice drive that we're dealing with as you make your way in from downtown, let's say headed towards the 8 or even Old Town Avenue. All right, we have a couple of issues going on our freeways. So it looks like we have a crash 15 South right at Market Street that may slow things down as you make your way towards the 94 coming in from the 805 perhaps, or maybe down to the Logan Heights area. That may slow things down for you this morning. We're also getting reports of some sort of trash bin in the lane. So that is a hazard that cars are kind of swerving to dodge. And this is on the slow lanes on the 805 right where it intersects with the 163. So as you're making your way from Mission Valley all the way up towards Kearney Mesa. Netta? Northbound coming in from Chula Vista. Just a heads up, we are tracking a large semi-tire tread in the lanes, and that's on the 805 North, right at Plaza Boulevard. So this could slow things down for those who pass the 54 on the 805 North. Keep that in mind. And then we are tracking a crash near the Logan Heights area, partially blocking one of the lanes, and that's on the 15 off-ramp. Southbound end to Market Street. And then moving all the way north, this one's plugging things up for those headed westbound in from the Vista neighborhood. We have reports of a stalled car on the 78 West right at Jefferson, so look out for that. Thank you very much. Again, anytime I dress Charlie up, and I even do have a little Christmas out for him, he just freezes and he will not move whatsoever. So it's kind of good. If I don't want him to bother me, I should just like continue putting costumes or little outfits on him. 6:50 is the time. Let's go ahead and show off the 163. This is just south of the 8 freeway. So this is that drive as you make your way on to the 163, coming from the 8, maybe heading to Balboa Park or eventually into the downtown neighborhood. Let's go ahead and switch gears and see what's happening on another freeway. This is the 805 in both directions, coming inbound from the South Bay as you make your way north towards National City. So far, so good as you pass the Plaza Bonita Mall. We have reports of large semi-tire tread blocking a couple of the lanes that cars are swerving to avoid. So look out for that. That's on the 805 North at Plaza. We still have this crash popping up on the CAD, partially blocking the off-ramp to Market coming from the 15 South. And then all the way up in the North County, just a heads up, you may encounter additional slowing hopping on the 5 coming from Vista on the 78 West due to a stalled car that's blocking the right lane, and that's right after Jefferson. It's causing slowing all the way towards El Camino Real. All right, about 10 to 12 minutes to get you southbound this morning in from Oceanside and Escondido.
Good morning.
Yeah, overcast. Our natural air conditioner moving in, so hopefully no one has to use the AC and can just roll down the windows and enjoy that breeze. 8 West, let's go ahead and kind of give you a tour around town, and then we'll take a look at some of the hazards we got going on. This is that drive as you exit the College neighborhood. That's the drive towards the College campus there as you make your way towards the 163 or the 15 connector, and this is coming in from the South Bay on the 805. That's the northbound drive as you past Plaza Bonita Road, and then this is the 5 as you make your way northbound in from downtown San Diego. All right, we are tracking some debris blocking the right lane reportedly. This is in National City on the 805 at northbound right at Plaza Boulevard, and then moving a little more westward, we're still tracking this crash blocking the off-ramp to Market Street from the 15 South. As we take a look at travel times, we'll look more at what the East County and South Bay has in store, but the North County in pretty good shape as you make your way out of Oceanside and Escondido. To tell our viewers this time of day, 7:13, we are looking at a live view of the 8 coming inbound from the College neighborhood as you make your way west towards Mission Valley. This is what it looks like on the 805 in both directions as you shoot in from Bonita, headed northbound towards National City, passing Plaza Bonita Mall, and this is the 5 in both directions. That's that northbound drive as you make your way towards Sunset Cliffs, Point Loma. It looks like there is some sort of action right here on pop-up on the CAD. In fact, we're taking a live look at it there. Tow truck has arrived on scene though, so they should get that clear pretty quick. All right, look out for a crash that may slow things down for you if you use the 15. This is partially blocking the off-ramp to Market Street and from the 15 South. Pulling up travel times, we have seen plenty of green across the board. I mean, we're still averaging about 12 to 17 minutes, which is just incredible for that morning commute. Good news if you got to get somewhere on time. It looks like you have the freeway almost all to yourselves. All in the green, steady speeds in from the East County. We are seeing some minor slowing coming in from the South Bay, but still not too bad. It could be worse in the red. Right now, about 13 to nearly 20 to get you northbound in from the South Bay. Towards a 54 connector towards National City. I do want to let folks know we're tracking a crash. This one just came in and it's slowing things down on the 163 as you pass through the Balboa Park and Hillcrest area. 7:40 is the time. Let's go ahead and start things off with your traffic maps, and then we'll take a live look outside. So I do want to highlight the fact that we have a crash on the 163 South. So this is going to slow things down as you're making your way in from Mission Valley towards Hillcrest, Balboa Park, eventually into downtown San Diego. You could actually see that we're tapping the brakes. I'd say that's probably around Robinson Street. Stop and go from there all the way down to the 5 connector. And then we have this reports of some sort of debris blocking the right lane in National City on the 805 North, and that's right at Plaza Boulevard. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what we are dealing with outside. A lot of haze out there. This is the 805 in both directions as you make your way towards the 54 coming in from Chula Vista. This camera is being stubborn, so let's go ahead and take another live look outside. 5 in both directions. That's the southbound drive as you leave Oceanside. And we already know come 4 or 5 o'clock on a Friday evening, this is likely going to look like a parking lot in both directions, but smooth sailing for now. Travel times are starting to build a little bit, about 15 to 16 minutes coming inbound from Escondido to the 163 merge, under 15 still inbound from Oceanside down to Encinitas. Eric? Light out there. This is the 805 in both directions as you exit Chula Vista, making your way northbound towards the National City neighborhood via the 805. And then this is the 5 in both directions up in the North County coming in from Oceanside Boulevard. All right, we have a couple of issues. Let's go ahead and zoom on into them. We have a crash continuing to block one of the right lanes in Balboa Park on the 5 South right before you hit the 163. And then we have some sort of debris that may cause some slowing as you're making your way inbound from National City. Just a reminder, we have a partial weekend closure. The 163 South will be entirely closed between the 8 and the 5 starting Saturday morning all the way through 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Out there.
Yeah, and speaking of the East County, let's go ahead and give you a live shot of it. This is the 52 westbound, right underneath that 125 on-ramp to the 52 as you make your way in from Santee this morning. Meanwhile, we are seeing a bit of haze out there. This is the 805 in both directions as you make your way in from the Bonita neighborhood headed northbound towards National City. And this is the 5 in both directions coming inbound from Oceanside as you make your way out towards the Carlsbad neighborhood. All right, let's go ahead and focus in on where we're seeing some problems. We have a crash that we're still tracking on the 163 right before you get to the downtown area via the 5. May slow things down as you're making your way either out of Balboa Park or the Hillcrest neighborhoods this morning. And then we're also getting reports of some sort of debris on the right lane, blocking partially one of the lanes on the 805 North right at Plaza Boulevard. Off on the 805 in both directions coming in from the South Bay as you make your way, working your way up to National City, coming in from Bonita and Chula Vista. 5 in both directions in pretty good shape. This is out of Oceanside Boulevard. Let's go ahead and take you where we're tracking some minor issues. We still have this crash that's continuing to pop up on the CAD. This is on the 163 South. As you make your way through Balboa Park, it may slow things down for you as you head into downtown. In fact, there is some slowing. Blocking the right lane in National City on the 805 North right at Plaza Boulevard. I do want to remind drivers, if you live or you use the 163 anywhere near Balboa Park, Mission Valley, Hillcrest, just a heads up, we have a partial weekend closure. The 163 South will be entirely closed between the 8 and the 5 freeways starting at 3 a.m. tomorrow rather, lasting all the way through 1 p.m. So it is only going to be shut down for part of Saturday, but it will likely cause a pretty big backup around the 5 and the 8 freeways. So just make sure that you're planning ahead using surface streets or perhaps the 5 and 805 to get around that closure. Netta? Towards Carlsbad. Meanwhile, we're tracking a crash partially blocking the 67 South to the 8 West connector, slowing things down to about Broadway. And then we're also tracking this crash. This is near the Hawthorne Street exit as you make your way maybe towards the airport, backing things up all the way down to the 94 neighborhood, also near El Cajon. That's where we're tracking a crash on the 67 South. Right where the 67 meets the 8, you may encounter some slowing due to a crash. We had a crash earlier. It has since cleared, and the slowing has as well, but you may see a lingering car or two on the shoulder. This is going to be on the 5 North right before you hit Hawthorne Street. And something to keep in mind if you're traveling towards San Diego International Airport, you may encounter some brake tapping through there because of the leftover slowing. Here's a live look on the 5. I tried to see if I could track some slowing, and fortunately there's not. In fact, it's smooth sailing as you make your way through the curves this morning. Travel times are in really good shape. We're averaging under 15 on both the 5 and the 15 coming in from the North County headed inbound, 20 full span of the 78. Here's what it looks like as you make your way westbound out of the East County, about 5 minutes coming inbound from the College neighborhood to the 805. So there is some minor brake tapping near La Mesa and Grossmont Center. Meanwhile, coming in from Santee and Lemon Grove, we're averaging about 7 to 8 minutes. And last but not least, here's what we're seeing out of the South Bay. We're at steady speeds in from San Ysidro and National City. However, the Coronado Bridge is actually seeing their fair share of slowing. Not sure what's going on, but that's typically a 3-minute drive, and we're now looking at 10 minutes to get you from Barrio Logan to the old toll booths on the Coronado Bridge at last check. Eric?
Are still